around, we didn't find Thandi and Tlalamba, but we have got lions. And it looks like it is the Styx pride, but we are uncertain if the entire pride is here, because we can't really see them all just yet. But this is all thanks to Aubrey and William and their hard tracking, and it paid off. And if it wasn't for them out on foot, we would have never ever have seen these cats, because they are in the middle of like 2 different drainage systems. It was quite interesting trying to navigate through here. Very, very dense terrain, and in an area that Thandi and Tlalamba also like. So who knows, they could still be around here somewhere. But just from the fact that there are those little cubs right at the back, and like Senzel says, that tells you that it is the Styx pride, because we know they've got 3 of those youngsters. But I can see, I'll tell you how many lions I can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think there's maybe 1 lioness that we're missing. Well, they might be all there. They might all be there. Thanks, Karen, for the support. But thankfully today I was just listening to my game drive radio and happened to be at the right place at the right time. I honestly thought we were still tracking leopards, but I was having some comms difficulty today. I couldn't really hear what everybody was saying. Sounded like I had some interference or something somewhere. But I'm happy either way, because, to be honest, I do like the lions more than I like the leopards. They are my absolute favourite. But they're tired. Do you know that the Styx pride last night were on a nets, which is south of Chitwa? That's where they'd gone. So after we found them on Friday morning, I think they must have spent the evening walking around on Torchwood before heading back south to areas that they know very well. And then after last night, they came marching towards us, which is very cool. Very, very nice to see them. However, they're in the core territory of the Nkuhumas. I mean, obviously the Nkuhumas, the lionesses will expand their home range slightly in order to try and find food, but this sort of spot here, this sort of central part in Djuma, is typically their home. So they better be careful. They better be very careful, but a very nice surprise either way. Jojo, it is, and the exciting thing with the Styx pride that it is growing is that they are recovering from the mange. That was what was stopping them from really a sort of expanding. So a shame. It's tough. From my understanding, though, it sounded like, I mean, I'm not really familiar with the Styx pride in terms of their previous doings many years ago, but from what I've read, it started off as 7 lionesses and in 2009, and then by 2010 the pride was down to just 3 lionesses. So I don't really know what happened. I don't know if that was the doings of the Mapochos, which was a coalition of male lions that came through here and caused absolute havoc, killing many lions along the way. I'm not really too sure what actually happened to them. We do suspect, though, that it was Tinyo, who does show some signs of mange. You can often see it on his belly. We think that he may have introduced this, the mange to the Styx. Again, we're not sure. We can only speculate. And then they really struggled to produce cubs. But they're very exciting that they seem to be doing really well now. They've recovered so nicely. I mean, you can see that older lion that's just sitting there, one closer to us, yeah, you know, the one that's sitting up. That lion, you can see, if you look around its face, it might be a young male. Look at that. See, that's all the mange, that's all the hair that's disappearing. Now, that's the mites that are doing that. And that's a very frustrating, probably, area to get mange, because there's very little that lion can do to really groom itself nicely. I mean, yes, it can lick its paws and wipe its face and try and, you know, keep everything nice and clean. But it's not going to help get rid of the problem. They are looking much better, though. I'm not worried about the survival of these youngsters from mange, not at all. I think they'll be fine. Puma, yes, yeah. I think when I saw them on Friday, I got excited. They kept all walking and didn't really stop and all sit down in the open to count them. And I think I may have thought I saw another one. Could have just been the older male that rubbed up against one of the lionesses that I thought was maybe a 4th lioness, but I'm sure there's still only 3. But it's hard to count. I can't count all the members of the pride, unfortunately. because they're all tucked away here. And I think that they'll spend the rest of the afternoon in this area. Well, Aubrey's just moving out. I think Taxon's coming in. I don't know if they've eaten anything. And it's difficult to tell. They're just enjoying the morning sun and relaxing for the moment. It's an interesting area to try and tackle. We're lucky with these short wheel-based vehicles in comparison to the long wheel-based cars. We can navigate a lot easier through the drainage system than the bigger cars can. So it takes them quite a while to sort of get in. But we did try to point out the easiest route. It's having a little smell. There was some giraffe lingering around too. We know that the Styx Pride seem to be quite curious about giraffe, whether they'll ever try and take one down. I'm not so confident. Maybe they'll be able to. I'm wondering if these are the two boys, actually, these ones that we're looking at now. They've got very hairy chests. YouTube viewer, they say that rain helps get rid of mange, so I don't know about bathing in water, if that would help. Maybe it would. I mean, normally when we treat an animal for mange, a domestic animal, a horse or a cat or a dog, you'll use some sort of an antibacterial kind of a wash. So I'm not sure how they would cure themselves here. I suppose just a good healthy diet to sort of combat it, because if your immune system is weakened, that's when mange can really just take over. But very cool to see, though. Very nice to see the transformation. Interesting to learn about mange. Here we go. Here comes a lioness. Youngster. They're getting so big now. There's one of the adults. The one looks like it wants to be groomed, but that adult is not having any of it. I hope they hang around for this afternoon. Oh, don't lay on top of me. See, the youngsters have still got big bellies, the little ones, but they could also still be suckling. Not impressed. Not impressed by being laid on top of. Very cool. Well, I'm going to just jump on the radio and find out who's wanting to come into the sighting, because I think we're going to have to try to keep it to 3 vehicles. It's a very tight squeeze, but it seems as though Steve's having a great time talking about all the trees.